Hello everyone, welcome to another video. If you are new to my channel, please remember to like, subscribe, right, and share, right, and please turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified as soon as I upload a video. In this video, what we're going to look at is the January 2019 CXC past paper, right? So I'm just going to solve these questions for you. Question number 1. 2 over 3 all squared is equal to, now you are given 2 over 3 all squared, right? Now the squares tell you how many times you must multiply the base. So what this means, it means that you are multiplying 2 over 3 times itself, 2 over 3. And this will give you a final answer of 2 times 2, that's going to be 4, over 3 times 3, that's going to be 9. So your answer is going to be 4 over 9. And in this case, your answer would be D. Right? Now to question number 2. The number 3.14063 written correct to 3 decimal place is, now you are given the number 3, right? And you are asked to round off this number to 3 decimal places. Now what you are going to do, you are going to look at the digit in the 4th decimal place, and that digit here would be 6, right? Now if that digit is greater than 5, or it is 5 or more, then you must increase the previous digit by 1. If it is less than 5, then you just write, you leave the previous digit as is. So your final answer here, because this is 6, which is greater than 5, right, or is 5 or more, then you're going to increase the previous digit, which is 0 here, by 1. So your final answer would be 3.141, right? So that answer would be B. Clear there? Now to question number 3. In standard notation, 208.06 is written as, now for you to write a number in standard notation, the first digit before the decimal point must be a non-zero digit, and it must fall between 0 and 10, right? So here we're given the number 208.06, right? If the first digit before the decimal point should be a non-zero digit, and it should fall between 0 and 10, that means we want the decimal point between 2 and 0. Now in order to get the decimal point between 2 and 0, it is just the same thing as dividing by 100. So our answer in standard notation would be
2.0806
times 10 to the positive 2 power. Right? So it would be positive 2. Alright? So your answer would be A in this case. Alright? Now to question 4. If $560 is shared in the ratio of 2 to 3 to 9, the difference between the largest share, the largest and the smallest share is, now we know the largest share is going to be 9, right? And we must find the difference between the largest and the smallest share. So the smallest share is going to be 2. So the difference between the largest share and the smallest share, that's going to be 7. Now we know that the total amount of ratio here is going to be 14. So the total amount of equal parts here is going to be 14. So let's put P for parts. So it's going to be 14 parts is equal to the total amount of money that is shared, which is 560. Now from this, we can find what one part would equal to. So therefore, all we need to do is to divide both sides by 14. So if we divide this side by 14, and we divide this side by 14, then we are going to realize that 14 will cancel out 14, and we're left back with one part here. So we know that one part is going to equal to 560 divided by 14. 56 divided by 14, that's going to be 4. And 0 divided by 14, that's going to be 0. So one part out of the 14 is equivalent to $40. Now we need to find 7 parts. So 7 parts is going to be 7 times 40, right? Which is going to give us 7 0, that's going to be 0, and 7 4, that's going to be 28. So it's going to be $280, right? So the difference between this largest and the smallest share is going to be $280, which would be C in this case, right? Now to number 5. If 60% of a number is 90, what is 4/5 of the number? So what we know from the question, 60% is the same thing as 60. 60% is the same thing as 60 over 100, right? Now, we know that 60% of a number is 90. We don't know what the number is. Of means times. So, 60 over 100 times some number, let's call that number n, times some number is, and is here mean equal, is 90. That's what we know from the question. So we can find what n is. We can clearly see that 60 over 100 can be reduced. 0 will cancel out 0 here. We can use 2 to reduce 6, that gives us 3. And we can use 2 to reduce 10, which gives us 5. Now 3 times n, that's going to be 3n over 5 is going to equal to 90, right? Now, if we multiply both sides by 5, on this side, we're going to left back with 3n is equal to 5 times 90. 5 times 0, that's going to be 0. And 5 times 9, that's going to be 45. Right? So 5, 9 is 45. Now to find what n is, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And we're going to divide this side by 3. So n is going to equal to 4 divided by 3, that gives us 1. Gives us 1 remainder. So 3 into 15, that's going to give us 5. And 3 into 0, that's going to give us 0. So n is equal to 150. So we know that the number that they're talking about is 150. So they're saying that we must find what is 4/5 of the number. So now we are going to find 4/5 of, and half means multiply 150. And 150 is the same thing as 150 over 1. Here, we are just basically multiplying two fractions. So we can reduce. 5 into 5 goes 1. And 5 into 150 is going to be 30. And 4 times 30, that's going to be 120. So final answer would be 120, and in this case our answer would be C. So now to number 6. The first three common multiple of 3, 4, and 6 are, what we're going to do, we're going to solve this question by eliminating the answers that we know that cannot be the correct answer, right? So here, when we look at part option A, we have 0, 1, 2. Now multiples. The question answers for common multiples, but multiples, the smallest multiple of a number is the number itself. And here we have 0, 1, 2. So that means A cannot be a part of the answer, right? Let's look at option B. We have 3, 6, and 4, right? So that means B cannot be a part of the answer as well. Let's look at C. We have 6, 8, and 12. That cannot be a part of the answer, right? And now the first common multiple between 3, 4, and 6 is going to be 12. So that means the second one is going to be a multiple of 12, which is 24. And the third one is going to be 36. So our answer here is going to be D, right? Now for question 7, if P is equal to 2, 3, 5, and 7, Q is equal to 2, 3, 6, and S is equal to 2, 4, 5, then P intersect Q intersect S has to be 2 because 2 is common to all three sets. All right, so answer here is straightforward. It's going to be A, right? So question number 8 refers to the Venn diagram here, right? And it says in the Venn diagram, the number of elements in P is equal to 5, the number of elements in Q is equal to 9, and the number of elements in P union Q is equal to 10. And the question asks us, What is the number of element in Q intersect P? Now, this is straightforward. It's going to be 9 plus 5 minus 10. And that is going to give us 4. So the number of element in Q intersect P is going to be 4. Let me just explain this a little bit more. Now, if the number of element in P is 5, right? In this set here is going to be 5. And the number of element in Q is going to be 9, right? And then when they combine both of them, they tell us that P union Q is 10, which means that some element here would have counted only once, right? And in this set, you notice if we add 9 plus 5, right, that's going to give us 14, which means that some element would have counted twice because you have an intersection, right? So we have to add these and then subtract. All right. Now to question number 9. Which of the following set is an equivalent to the set P, Q, R, and S? Now equivalent sets have the same amount of element, right? So here the set that they give us have a total of 4 elements. That means the set that is equivalent to it would be C, because C have 4 elements as well. All right. Now number 10. All students in a class play Scrabble, or checkers, or both. If 36% of the students play Scrabble only and 48% of the students play checkers only, what percent of the students play both games? Now we can attempt this question by elimination. We know that they give us 36% and 48%. Now our answer cannot be a value that is greater than or equal to the sum of 36 plus 48, right? Because the total amount of students in the class would represent 100%, right? And this is 48% out of that 100, and this is 36% out of that 100. So by elimination, we know that our answer cannot be D. We know that our answer cannot be 84, because 36 plus 48, that's just 84. So our answer is between A and B. Now, if 36 plus 48 is 84, and there's a total amount of 100%, then it would be 100% minus 84, which leaves us with 16. So our answer would be B in this case. All right. Item 11 refers to the following Venn diagram. Here we have a Venn diagram, right? And we have X and Y and a shaded region. Question 11. In the Venn diagram, X represents the set of factors of 12. Y represents the set of factors of 9. The shaded region represents the set of all factors of. Now, we know that factors, right? The largest factor of 12 is going to be 12, right? And the largest factor of 9 is going to be 9. Now we can quickly list out the factors of 12. So the factors of 12 is going to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12, right? And we can list out the factors of 9. And the factors of 9 is going to be all the numbers that can divide 9 equally, and it's going to be 1, 3, and 9, right? So therefore, the shaded region represents what is common between both sets. And clearly here you can see that 3 is common between both sets. So our answer here is going to be 3. Item 12 refers to the following Venn diagram. Now here we have a Venn diagram, and we know that all the area of the Venn diagram is shaded except P, right? So question number 12. In the Venn diagram, the shaded area represents, if all the area is shaded except P, then it has to be P complement, because P complement means all the elements outside of P. So our answer in this case is going to be A, right? Now to question 13. A store offers a discount of 15% on the total bill to customers who spend more than $20. If a customer total bill is $80, how much must she pay? All right, so we know that if the customer spend $20 or more, then a discount of 15% is given. So it's going to be 15%, which is 15 over 100 times $80, right? And then we can reduce this, so 0 will cancel out 0. 5 into 15, that's going to give us 3, and 5 into 10, that's going to give us 2. 2 into 2, that's going to give us 1, and 2 into 8, that's going to give us 4, and 3 times 4, that's going to give us a total of $12, right? So the discount is going to be $12. So that means the customer must pay $80 minus $12, which would give us a final answer of $68, right? So in this case, our answer would be C, right? Now to question 14. At a store, sales tax is charged at a rate of 2% on the cost price of an item. The sales tax on address, which costs $180, is, now we know that the sales tax charge is going to be 2%, and 2% is the same thing as 2 over 100, right? On the cost, and that's times 180. And all we need to do is to reduce this. So 2 over 100 is just the same thing as 1 over 50. Right? And here 0 is going to cancel out 0 here, and 5 into 18 is going to give us 3.6, right? And that our answer here is going to be A, which is a 3.60. Question 15. A plot of land is valued at $18,000. Land tax of $126 is charged annually. At what rate per annum is the land tax charged, right? So we are going to ratio the tax charge, right, with the value of the land. So that's going to be 126 over 18,000 and we need the rate per annum, so we want it as a percentage, so we're going to multiply by 100% here. All right, now clearly we can see that 0 will cancel out 0, 0 will cancel out 0, and we're asked to reduce this, right? So 126 divided by 180, that's going to result in 0.7%. All right, so answer for this question is going to be B. Now for 16, the exchange rate for $1 US is $2.70 in EC Caribbean currency. What is the value of US $4.50 in EC currency? Now we know that US $1 is equivalent to $2.70, right? And that's in EC. So we know that this is EC, and we know that this is US. Now they give us $4.50 in US, so we have $4.50, right? And we want to know what this is equivalent to, which is XEC dollars, right? We can use a little bit a ratio and proportion to solve this question. So clearly here, if we set this up as a fraction, what we will have is 1 over $4.50 is equal to $2.70 over X dollars. So X is what we want to find, right? Okay, do a little bit of cross multiplication. So X times 1, that's going to leave us with X. And X is going to equal to 4.50 multiplied by 2.70, and that's going to leave us with $12.15. All right, so our answer is going to be D here. Number 17. A man's annual salary is $45,000. His tax-free allowance total $13,000. He has to pay a tax of 20% on his taxable income. The tax payable is, now we need to determine what his taxable income is. So his taxable income is going to equal to 45,000 minus the 13,000, right? That's his tax-free allowance. We're going to take 13,000 from it. So 45,000 minus 13,000, that's going to leave us with $32,000, right? So his taxable income is $32,000, and he pays 20% of tax. So it's going to be 32,000 multiplied by 20%, and 20% is the same thing as 20 over 100, right? Now 20 over 100 is the same thing as 2 over 10, right? And 0 here cancel 0 over here. So what we're left back with is 2 times 3,200, right? And 2 times 3,200 is going to give us 6,400. So the tax payable is 6,400, and that option is going to be B. Now to question 18. A television set costs $350 cash. When bought and hire purchase, a deposit of $35 is required, followed by 12 monthly payment of $30. How much is saved by paying cash? So now we need to determine what's the hire purchase cost. We know that the hire purchase cost is going to be a deposit of $35 plus 12 month of $30, 12 month payments of $30. So that's going to be 35 plus 12 times 30. So 12 times 30, that's going to be 360 plus the $35 here. And 35 plus 360, that's going to give us a final price of $395, right? Now we know that the cash price is $350, so we must take that away from the hire purchase. So it's going to be $350 so it's going to be $395 minus $350, which gives us a final value of $45. So how much is saved by paying cash? $45 would be saved, and that answer is D. Now to question 19. A man pays 60 cents for every 200 cubic meter of gas used, plus a fixed charge of $13.75. How much does he pay when he uses 55,000 cubic meter of gas? Right? Now, what we're going to do, we're going to write 55,000 over here. And we are going to find out how many groups of 200 cubic meter we can get out of it. So here 0 will cancel out 0, 0 will cancel out 0, and 2 into 2 goes 1 time, 2 into 5 here goes 2 times, remainder 1, 2 into 15 goes 7 times, remainder 1, and 2 into 10 goes 5 times. So we can get 275 groups of 200 out of 55,000. Now we know that for every 200 cubic meter of gas, the man pays 60 cents, right? So that means we're going to multiply this 275 by 60 cents, right? Now we are going to multiply it by 60 cents and also divide it by 100, since 100 cents makes a dollar, and they give us the answer in dollars and cents. All right, now we also have to bear in mind the fixed charge, so it is going to also be plus this fixed charge of $13.75. Right? So here, what we have here is that 275 divided by 100 is just the same thing as 2.75 times 60, right? And 2.75 times 60 is going to equal to $165 plus this $13.75, which gives us a final answer of $178.75. So answer for question 19 is going to be A. All right. Item 20 refers to the following table, which shows the rate charged by an insurance company. Insurance, 25 cents per $100. Content insurance, 50 cents per $100. How much will a person pay for insurance if his house is valued at $50,000 and the contents at $10,000? Now we can see that for 25 cents, that is equivalent to $100. But when we look at the options that they give us in dollars, right? So what I'm going to do, I am going to convert the cents to dollars. So I'm going to work with only dollars. Now we know for 25 cents, it will be $100. So that means for 50 cents, it would be $200. For 75 cents, it would be $300. So that means for 100 cents, it would be $400. And 100 cents is equivalent to $1. So our new rate would be for $1 so for $1, that would be equivalent to $400, right? And that's when we are talking about house insurance, right? So therefore, they tell us that the house is valued at $50,000 for house insurance. So what we are going to do is to write our $50,000 and we are going to see how many groups of 4 can we get out of it, and that would give us the amount of insurance paid. So clearly 0 cancels out 0 here, 0 cancels out 0 here. 4 into 4 goes 1, and 4 into 5 goes 1 time, remainder 1. So 4 into 10 goes 2 times, remainder 2, and 4 into 20 goes 5 times. So the value of the insurance at $50,000, the person will pay $125. Now we need to determine the content insurance. Now we know that the content insurance here, the value that they give us is $10,000. We're going to do the same thing here. We know that 50 cents person is required to pay $100. That means for 100 cents, the person will require to pay $200, and 100 cents is the same thing as $1, right? Because it takes 100 cents to make $1. So the rate here, $1 would be equivalent to $400. Sorry, $200. Now they give us a value of 10,000, so we're going to see how many groups of 200 can we get out of 10,000. Clearly 0 cancel out 0 here, this 0 cancel out this 0, and 2 into 2 goes 1, and 2 into 100, that's going to give us 50, right? Now we just need to add them, and that will give us the answer. So 50 plus 125, that's going to give us 175. So our answer here is going to be A. Alright, so the person will pay $175. Now to question 21, the product of negative 2a and negative 3a is, now negative times negative, that's going to be positive. So clearly the option is not going to be A, so A cannot be the answer, and the B cannot be the answer. It's between C and D, and 2 times 3, that's going to give us 6, and A times A going to give us A squared, so our answer is going to be D. Alright? Question 22. When 6 is added to a number and the sum is divided by 3, the result is 4. This statement written using mathematical symbol is, now first what you can do is try to write what this statement is saying. So it says when 6 is added to a number, right, and the sum is divided by 3, the result is 4. So we know that 6 must be added to some number, and let's call that number x, right? Now the sum of these two numbers must be divided by 3. That's what it is saying. And when we divide it by 3, the result should be 4. So it should equal to 4, right? So when we look at option A, now this one is incorrect. When we look at option B, then that one is correct. Alright, so our answer would be B in this case. Now for 23, Althea normally saves X dollars each month, but in June she saved 4 more than twice her usual amount, right? In June she saved twice her usual amount, which is 2 times X plus 4 more. So it's going to be plus 4 here, right? And the answer that represents this would be D. So D would be our answer for 23. Okay. For 24, if 3 plus 2 over x equal 1, the value of x is, now there's a couple of ways you can do this question. You could use the options, or you could just simply solve it. So here, if you notice that 3 plus x over 2 is equal to 1, right? What is x? Then what we can do is to subtract 3 from both sides. So if we subtract 3 from both sides, what we're going to left back with on the left hand side here is 2 over x is equal to 1 minus 3. That's going to leave us with negative 2, right? So clearly you can see that 2 over x equal negative 2. There's only one possible answer, and the answer is going to be negative 1, right? So x here is going to equal to negative 1, right? So our answer here is going to be 8. And you could put negative 1 in the function here, you know? And then if you replace x with negative 1, you would see that 2 divided by negative 1 would be minus 2. So therefore 3 plus minus 2 would equal to 1. Alright. Now to question 25. If x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 2, what is the value of x squared plus 3y all divided by xy? Now what this is saying, wherever you see x in this formula, you must replace it with 4, and wherever you see y, you must replace it with 2. So here we have x squared, so that's going to be 4 squared. So that's going to be 4 squared plus 3 times y, and y is 2 in this case, so it's going to be 3 times 2. All of that divided by xy, so it's going to be 4 times 2. Right? Now clearly you can see 4 squared means 4 times 4, so 4 times 4, that's going to be 16, right? So 4 times 4, that's going to be 16 plus 3 2's, that's going to be 6. So it's going to be 16 plus 6. So 16 plus 6, that's going to leave us with 22 over 8, right? Now 22 over 8 can be written as a mixed number. How many groups of 8 can we get out of 22? That's going to be 2 groups. How many is left? That's going to be 6 over 8. And 6 over 8 is the same thing, can be reduced. So this is going to be 2 and 6 over 8 can be reduced by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 2. So this is the same thing as 3 over 4. Alright, so 2 3/4 is the answer, and that answer would be D in this case. Okay, now to question number 26. The expansion negative 2 times, the expression negative 2 times x minus 4 is the same as, the only thing that is going to happen here is that you're going to distribute this negative 2 to each term inside of the bracket. And what that does, it is going to change the sign of each term inside of the bracket. So since it's going to change this minus sign, because this is a negative 2 to plus, then the option cannot be A by elimination, and the option cannot be C by elimination, right? Now negative 2 times negative 4, that's going to give us 8, and not 4, so the option cannot be D as well. So the answer has to be B. All right. Now here to 27, if the 27, if the determinant of A is 0, then A is a singular matrix. All right. So singular matrix has a determinant of 0. All right. So the option is going to be B here. All right. So item 28 refers to the following matrix X and Y. So here we have X is equal to this matrix here, which is 1, 2, 3, 0, negative 3, and 5. And Y is equal to 3, 2, 0, 0, 1, 5. Now question 28 says, what is the order of the matrix product X, Y? What is the order? So here we know that matrix X is a 2 by 3 matrix, right? And for Y here, it is a 3 by 2 matrix, right? So clearly you can see that the number of columns here is equal to the number of rows. So therefore, these two matrices can be multiplied. And the order is going to be 2 by 2. Alright? So the answer here is going to be A. Question number 29. If the vector P and Q are 3, 2 and negative 1, 4 respectively, then negative P minus 2P is, now here this is P, which is 3, 2. So negative P would be the vector negative 3, negative 2. Right, minus 2P, 2Q, and 2Q is going to be 2 times negative 1, that's going to be minus 2, and 2 times 4, that's going to be 8, right? And when you are subtracting vectors, you subtract corresponding elements. So minus 3 minus negative 2, that's going to be negative 1. And minus 2 minus 8, that's going to be minus 10. Alright. So our answer is going to be D in this case, right? Item 30 refers to the following parallelogram W, X, Y, Z. In the parallelogram, R is the midpoint of XY, right? And as you can see, the parallelogram here, which is W, X, Y, and Z. Based on the information above, vector ZR is, now what we want this vector here, which is ZR. So we want from Z to R, right? Now from Z to R, we can go in the direction which is from Z. Can go from Z to Y, and then from Y to R, which will take us to ZR, right? So we must start at Z and we must end up at R. So that's basically what this is saying. Now we know that the parallelogram is WXYZ. So let's put on some arrow. So if we start in at W, then we must go in this direction, right? And from X to Y, we must go into this direction here. Another thing that we know, it is a parallelogram. So this side is equal to this side. So we must go in this direction as well. And this side is equal to this side. So we must go in this direction as well. So this is the way the arrow should look, right? And let's put a stroke here to say that this side is equal to this. And let's put 2 strokes here to say that this side is the same as this side. Right? Now we want to know which one of these vectors represent the information here, which is Z R. So we say that if we want Z R, we can travel to Z W. ZY, sorry. Now ZY, vector ZY is the same thing as WX. So this here is WX, right? And this is vector WX. Because these two distances are the same. Now, we know that R is the midpoint, and midpoint means halfway between, right? So here, this is going to be from Y to X is the same thing as from Z to W, right? Clear there? Now, here we're going, so this distance here, R is located halfway between X and Y, and we know that from X to Y is the same thing as W to Z. So here we're going to put W, Z, and put on our vector here. Now we need to show the direction. Now if we're moving from X to Y, then it is a positive a half, but because we are moving from Y to R, then this is going to be a negative a half. And all we just need to do is to just add them. So if we're traveling, if we want to get from Z to R, we must go to vector WX, then vector negative a half WZ, and that would be option B here. All right. It took a speedboat 9 hours to travel a distance of 1,800 kilometers. What was the average speed in kilometer? So now we know that speed is going to equal to distance divided by time. Right? So it's going to be 1,080 divided by 9. And 1,080 divided by 9, that's just going to give us 120 kilometers per hour. Alright, so our answer here is going to be C. Clear? Now, item 32 refers to the following diagram of a trapezium, right? And here we have the trapezium, and this is the area of the trapezium is going to be A is going to equal to 1/2 of A plus B times h. Right? So here A and B is going to be the horizontal height. Right? So it's going to be 12 plus 8. That's going to give us 20. And then we multiply 20 by 3. That's going to give us 60. And then we find half of that. Right? Or we could find half of 20, which gives us 10, and then times 3. So basically our answer here is going to be C. Alright? Clear? We could plug it in our formula over here, which is 1/2 times 12 plus 8. All of that multiplied by the height, and the height here is going to be 3, so that's going to be 3. So 10 plus 8, that's 20, and half of 20, that's going to be 10 times 3, and 10 times 3, that's going to be 30. And it's area, so you have to remember the unit is centimeter, is squared centimeter. Alright, so it's going to be C. Alright, question number 33. Item 33 refers to the following circle with center O. Right? If the circumference of the circle is 15 centimeter, then the length of the minor arc AB in centimeter is, so here this is the minor arc here, which has 120 degrees, right? Now we know that the minor arc is going to be a fraction of the entire circle, right? So it's going to be a fraction of the entire circle. So the circumference is a fraction of the entire circle. So our answer is going to be 120 out of 360 times 15. So our answer for this one is going to be B. Alright. Now for 34, the length of the sides of a triangle are x, 2x, and 2x centimeters. If the perimeter is 20 centimeters, what is the value of x? Right? So we know we have a triangle. I'm going to make a rough sketch over here. I have a triangle, right? And this triangle is not drawn to scale. So we know that one side has a dimension of 2x, another side has a dimension of 2x. So let's say these two sides are equal. And one side has a dimension of x, right? We know that the perimeter is equal to 20. So the perimeter is the total distance around. So this is 2x plus 2x plus 1x, which gives us 5x. So 5x, which is the perimeter, must equal to 20. Right? Now they ask us for the value of x. What value can you multiply 5 by? That gives you 20. That's going to be 4. Right? So x is going to equal to 4. Right? So our answer for this problem is going to be A. Now for 35. a rectangle garden plot 15 meter long and 12 meter wide is used to plant fruits and vegetables. If 80 square meter of the plot is used to plant vegetable, what area of the plot is used to planted with fruits, right? So we know it's a rectangular garden. Therefore, the area of the garden is going to be 15 meters times 12 meters, and that's going to give us an area of 180 square meter, right? Now if they use 80 square meter out of it, then the rest is planted with fruit, so it's going to be 180 here minus 80, which leaves us with 100 square meters, right? So our answer here is going to be B. The distance around a lake is 8 kilometers. On a map, this distance around the lake is represented by 2 centimeters, right? The scale on the map is, so right away we know that 2 centimeters in this case on the map is the same as 8 kilometers in real life, right? So we're going to convert this 8 kilometers to centimeter. So 2 centimeters is the same as 8 times 100,000 centimeters. Right? So 2 is centimeter is going to be the same thing as 800,000 centimeters. Right? Now, and you just divide both sides by 2. So if you have half this side and then you have this side, then the scale would be 1 centimeter to 400,000. All right. So option for this one would be D. Now 37 refers to the following diagram. So here we have a cylinder. We're given the height, which is 8 centimeters. We're given the radius, which is 3 centimeters. Right? So we know that the radius of this cylinder is 3 centimeters, and we know that the height, which is h in this case, is going to be 8 centimeters. And we are asked the diagram 37, the diagram above, not drawn to scale, shows a cylinder of radius 3 centimeters and height 8 centimeters. The volume of the cylinder is, now they want us to calculate the volume of the cylinder. So the volume, which is V in this case, the volume of the cylinder is going to equal to pi r squared h, right? So therefore the volume is going to equal to pi multiplied by r squared, but r in this case is just 3, so it's going to be 3 squared times h, and h in this case is going to be 8. So final answer is going to be 3 times 3, that's going to be 9, and 9 times 8, that's going to be 72, and 72 times pi, so our volume is going to be 72 pi cubic centimeter, right? And remember, so answer for this question would be C. All right. Item 38 refers to the following diagram not drawn to scale, which shows a cuboid. The volume of a cuboid is 320 cubic centimeter and the height is 5 centimeter. If the cuboid has a squared base, what is the length of one side of the base? Now we know that we can calculate the volume of a cuboid by multiplying the dimension. So V, which is the volume, is going to equal to, here it's going to be the height times L squared, right? And why I use L squared, they tell us that the base of the cuboid is a squared base, which means that all the lengths are equal. Now we know the volume, right? So the volume is going to be 320 which is equal to the height. The height is going to be 5, and that's going to be 5L squared, right? In order to determine what L is, we're just going to divide both sides by 5. We're going to divide this side by 5 as well. Now 320 divided by 5, that's going to leave us with 64. And 5 is going to cancel out 5, so we're left back with L squared on this side. To find what L is, we're going to take the square root of both sides. Square root of 64, that's going to leave us with 8. This is going to leave us with L. So it's going to be 8 centimeter. So our answer for this question, which is 38, is going to be A, right? Now to question 39. Item 39 refers to the following score, which were obtained by 11 students in a competition. Scores are 5, 3, 6, 8, 7, 8, 3, 11, 6, 3, and 3. The modal score is, modal in this case mean which one appear the most, right? Or the frequency. So here, when we observe all the numbers, we can see that we have a 3 here. We also have a 3 here. We have a 3 here. And we also have a 3 here. There's no other digit that appears more than 3. So it means that our answer is going to be A. Item 40 refers to the following pie chart, which shows the the popular game played by 720 students: cricket, football, tennis, and basketball. Alright? Now, as a percent, 25% play football, 10% play tennis, 30% play basketball, which means that only 35% play cricket. So here, question 40 asks us to determine how many students play cricket. Now, as a percent, that's going to be 35%, right? Because the total amount of percent has to add up to 100%. So 35% as a fraction is the same thing as 35 over 100 times the entire population, which is 720. Right? So here 0 cancel out 0. 5 into 10, that goes 2. 5 into 35, that's a 7. Right? We can reduce this 72 by 2. So 2 into 2, that's going to be 1. 2 into 7, that's going to leave us with 3. Remainder 1. And 2 into 12, that's going to leave us with 6. Now we're only left back with 7 times 36, and that's going to give us 252. So our answer is going to be C. Item 41 to 42 refers to the following chart, which shows the number of books 58 students bought at a sale, right? 41. How many students bought exactly 4 books? So you're going to go to number of books, look for 4, and then you're going to read off the top of the graph. Up to this line here is 8, and this look like halfway between 8 and 10, so it's going to be 9. So the answer for 41 is going to be B, right? Now 42, the median number of books bought by the students is, now we know that the median is going to be in the middle, right? So it's the middle score, right? Now we know that the total amount of books bought was 58. So here we know that 8 students would have bought 3 books, right? And we know that 9 students would have bought 4 books, and we know that 13 students would have bought 5 books. So it means that the median score has to fall between number 5 here, has to fall on this bar here, because if you add up 13 plus 9 plus 8, that's going to give us 30, which is a little bit more than half. So a little less going to be somewhere here. So the answer for this problem is going to be A. Now item 43 and 44 refers to the following diagram, which shows the cumulative frequency polygon of the lengths in meter of 20 fish that were caught by 2 fishermen, right? This is the cumulative frequency and this is the length. 43. The semi-interquartile range of the length of the fish is semi-interquartile. Now, semi-interquartile, there's a nice little formula that we can use to calculate the semi-interquartile, and that's going to be Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So by using this formula, it gives us the semi-interquartile range. Now we need to decide what is Q1 and what is Q3. Now Q1 is going to be a quarter of the cumulative frequency. So a quarter of 20, that's going to be 5. So we're going to go across here, and then we're going to come down on the x, and that value there is going to be just about 1.2, and that's going to be Q1. So Q1 is equal to 1.2. Now Q3 is going to be 3/4 of the total population, which is about 15. So going to go across, and then we're going to come down on the x, and from here to here that's about 3.5 and 2, so this is about 3.7. So Q3 is about 3.7, right? So 3.7 minus 1.2. So here we're going to have 3.7 minus 1.2 all divided by 2. And 3.7 minus 1.2, that's going to give us 2.5. And that's going to be 2.5 divided by 2. And 2.5 divided by 2, that's going to be 1.25. Right? So therefore the semi-interquartile should be 1.25 meter. So that option is going to be B. Right? Question 44. A fish is selected at random. What is the probability that it is at least 1.88 meter long? So 1.8 meter would be just about here. This would be about 1.8, and we're going to go up, and then we're going to go across in a straight line. My line is not so straight, right? And we're going to take off the reading. So here is about 5, right? And this is more than halfway between 5 and 10. So this looks like about 8, right? So it's going to be 8. So our answer is going to be 8 out of 20. So 44 is 8 out of 20. Item 45 refers to the following arrow diagram, right? So clearly we can see that x is mapped onto y. It says the arrow diagram above describes the relationship. First option A, y is less than x. Let's look at it. The y values are greater than the x values, so A is not the answer. B, y is a factor of x. The x-axis, the y values are greater, so it cannot be a factor of x. So B cannot be the answer. C, x is a factor of y. So let's look at it. What is happening here? We can see that 2 is mapped onto 8, right? 2 is a factor of 8. 2 is also mapped onto 10, and 2 is a factor of 10. 4 is mapped onto 8, and 4 is a factor of 8. And 3 is mapped onto 9, and 3 is a factor of 9. So our answer is clearly option C here, because option D says x is a multiple of y. And if x is really a multiple of y, then the x value should be the larger one. So this is not the answer. Alright, so the answer is C there. Now it says, which of the following graph represent a function? Clearly here, as you can see, the star, it represents y equal x. This is a function, so A would be the answer here for 47. Alright, now 46 says, which of the following line graph represents the set of x, all x's, such that x is greater than minus 2 and x is less than or equal to 4. Now, if x is less than or equal to 4, then that value should be shaded. And if x is greater than negative 2, then that value should not be shaded. There should be just an open circle around it. So here, when you look at option A, note that it is not shaded. This is an open circle. And when we looked at this section here where 4 is, it is circled, but it is not shaded as well, right? So A cannot be the answer. So we know that A is not the answer, right? Now when we look at option B, notice that they shade the value at minus 2, and the function says x is greater than. Shade means it is equal to. So B cannot be the answer either. And then when you look at C, they shade again, so C cannot be the answer, right? Now when you look at D, they did not shade. It's just an open circle, so that's correct. And they shade at 4, which suggests that it is equal to 4. So D is the answer. All right. Question 48. Which of the following points lies on the line y equal to x minus 3? Right? Now you can use these coordinates to test it. Right? Well, let's look at option D. If x here is 0, then if you put 0 into the function here, then 2 times 0 would be 0. So clearly y is going to equal to negative 3. So from this, we can see that D, the point D, 0, 3, lies on the line here. If f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 1, then f of minus 3 is, this is saying wherever you see x squared, replace it with minus 3. So this is going to be minus 3 squared, which is going to give us 9, and 2 times 9 is going to give us 18, and 18 minus 1 is going to leave us with 17. So our answer for this problem is going to be C. All right. Item 50 to 51 refers to the following graph, and here we have a quadratic graph, right? 50, the maximum point of y equal 4x minus x squared is, the maximum point is going to be the extreme top, which is the value right here at the top of the graph. And the x coordinate here, you can see, is going to be 2, and the y coordinate is going to be 4. So it's going to be 2, 4. So the answer is C here. The values of x at the point where y equal 4x minus x squared intersect y equals 0 are, now when y equals 0, that's just the x-axis. So they are just asking you for where the graph intersect the x-axis, and clearly the graph intersect the x-axis at this point here, and clearly you can see that this point here, that's a 0, and the graph intersect the x-axis at this point, and clearly you can see that that's just 4. So it's going to be x equals 0 and x equal 4, and that option here is going to be A. Now to 52, it says, which of the following set is represented by the function f of x maps onto x squared plus 3, where x is an element of 0, 1, 2, 3. So what you're going to do is to put in x equals 0 and to see what corresponding y value it will give. So when x is equal to 0, then y is going to equal to 3, because 0 squared is a 0 plus 3. So that look like 0, 3, and all 4 of them have 0, 3. Then when x is 1, it's going to be 1 squared, which is 1, plus 3, which is going to be 4. So when x is 1, then y is going to be 4. So it seems as if x is 1 here and y is 4, and it seems as if x is 1 here and y is 4. So we can do one more to decide which one is the correct one. So when x is equal to 2, replace this x squared with 2. 2 squared is going to give us 4, and 4 plus 3 is going to give us 7. So when x is equal to 2, y is going to equal to 7, and that's the option here. So our answer is clearly A here. All right. Now to 53. Item 53 refers to the following diagram, and as you can see here, you see the diagram, and it says, in the diagram above, if the line y equal x is rotated anticlockwise about 0 through 90 degrees, what is its image? Right? So if you rotate this 90 degrees, right, it's going to be a line somewhere over here. So when you rotate the line y equal x 90 degrees, it's going to be somewhere over here. And that line would represent y equal minus x. So option for 53 is going to be D. All right. Item 54 to 55 refers to the following diagram of a pair of intersecting lines. AC and DC are straight lines intersecting at B. Angle DBA is equal to 58 degrees as demonstrated on the diagram here. Question 54. The measure of angle ABE is, angle ABE is this angle here that I'm going to highlight. Now clearly you can see that angle DBA and angle ABE lies on a straight line, and angles that lies on a straight line sum to give 180 degrees. So clearly angle ABE is going to equal to 180 degrees minus 58 degrees, and that's going to leave us with 122 degrees. All right, so our answer for 54 is going to be B. Item 55. Which of the following angles are equal? Right now here from the diagram we can see that angle DBA is going to equal to angle CBE because it is vertically opposite, so this angle is going to be 58 as well. And also angle ABE is going to equal to angle DABC because it is vertically opposite, so this angle over here is going to be 122 degrees. So let's look at the option. Option A, angle DBC and angle CBE. No, this is incorrect. For option B, angle CBE and angle ABE. No, this option is incorrect as well. Option C, angle ABD and angle CBD. No, this option is incorrect as well. So our answer is going to be D. And clearly you can see that angle ABD, which is this angle, angle ABD, is equal to angle CBE. Both of them are 58 degrees. Alright. Number 56. In each of the following diagram, A image is the image of A. Which of the diagram shows a reflection in the x-axis? Right? Now, clearly, our option cannot be A. Clearly, our option cannot be B as well. And our option cannot be C. So the reflection in the x-axis is going to be D. Clearly, you can see that the x-axis here is the mirror line. So answer for 56 is going to be D. Question 57. In the triangle ABC, angle A equal x degrees and angle B equal 2x degrees, what is the size of angle C? Right? Now let's look at the option. Here, if we make a rough sketch of the diagram, right? If we make a rough sketch of the diagram, we have a triangle. It looks something like this. And we know that this angle here, let's say A is here. So angle A is x degrees. And let's say B is here. And that's 2x degrees. And let's say angle C is here. Now they want us to determine what the angle C would be. We know that the total amount of angle in any triangle is going to sum to give us 180. Now we have two angles already. So therefore, to find the third angle, it is going to be the sum of these two angles subtracted from 180 degrees. So our answer here is going to be A. Alright. Item 58 refers to the following pair of similar triangles. And as you can see here, we have a triangle ACB and we have a triangle MON. Here we have 31 degrees, 59 degrees. Here we have 31 degrees, 59 degrees. The length of AB here is 6 centimeter. The length of MN is 3 centimeter. And this MN seems to be half of AB. And we have AC here, which is 7 centimeter. We don't know MO here. All right. Now to 58. 58 says the length of MO in centimeter is. So we want to determine the length of MO here. And based on observing both triangles, we can see that 3 is half of 6. So it means that MO is going to be half of 7, right? So MO here is going to be 7 divided by 2, right? And as the decimal, this is going to be 3.5 meters. Centimeters, sorry. So answer for 58 is going to be B, which is 3.5. Okay. Question 59. A ship sailed 8 kilometers due east from A to B. It then sailed 6 kilometers due north to C. Which of the following diagram best represents the part of the ship? A, here we can see that from A to B, the ship is sailing 6 kilometers, and in the question they say that the ship sails 8 kilometers. So option A is out. So option A is out. Option B is also out because here we are moving from C to A. So option B is out as well. Now let's look at option C. We are traveling from A to B, and that's in the east direction, and that's 8 kilometers, and then from B to C, which is 6 kilometers. So the answer is C here. Okay. Now to our final question, which is 60. Under the translation 2, negative 3, the image of 3, comma, negative 5 is. Now what we know about translation is that translation plus the original is equal to the image. All right, so what we're seeing that each point over here is moved by the translation here. So what we're basically doing is adding the translation to the original point. So it's going to be, so it's going to be 2 minus 3, right, plus 3 minus 5. And that's going to equal to 2 plus 3, that's going to equal to 5. And minus 3 plus minus 5, that's going to give us minus 8. So the image is going to be 5, comma, minus 8. And that answer here is going to be C.